Hello, it's Deb here from Not a Rehearsal, and I want to ask you today, how do you soar like an eagle if you're surrounded by turkeys? Now that's not as mad as it sounds. In fact, it's a saying that I first heard when my grandfather, my papa, said it to me. And he was a man of few words, quite a dry, wry sense of humour. And very often at family gatherings, he would sit very quietly to one side, just observing what was going on. Occasionally he'd make a comment, more often than not, he just observed what was going on. And I can remember at one such family gathering, I was sat by his side and I was having a conversation with him about something, I'm not entirely sure what now. And he turned to me and he said, "You know what, Deb? It's really difficult to soar like an eagle if you're surrounded by turkeys." And that was so out of character for my papa. And over the years, I've understood what he meant. And a couple of years after he and I had that conversation, and about 2 years before he sadly passed away, I found a mug with that saying on, and I bought it for him for Christmas as a bit of a joke. And he opened it, and he was in the early stages of dementia then, and his eyes lit up, and he looked up at me, and he just smiled. He remembered that moment, and it was lovely. It really was lovely. And I think of it most days when I look out of the window at the bird feeders that we've got hanging up and see the birds out there. Because my grandfather loved birds. As a child, he would take me into the back garden and let me take a handful of birdseed out and put it on the bird table. And it's memories of that, like that, of those memories of my papa that are really, really dear to me. Anyway, I digress. I'm talking about soaring like an eagle when you're surrounded by turkeys. Over the years since that conversation with my papa, I've done a lot of reading, a lot of studying around personal growth, self-development. I've studied psychology, and within psychology, you study social psychology. And that talks about how you become conditioned almost. Another psychology definition, which I'm not going to go into now, or psychology term, but you become conditioned by your environment, by your surroundings and the people around you. So the way you behave is what's acceptable to them, and it's what's acceptable to your surroundings. And therefore your aspirations are managed by those around you. And in personal growth and self-development, there's a school of thought that suggests that we become the sum of the 5 or 6 people we are the closest to, not in proximity, but in terms of how much time we spend with them, how much influence they have on us. And I know it's really, really difficult to want to change your life, to want to create your blockbuster life, if you are surrounded by people who are quite happy for you to stay exactly where you are. It's hard. It's very difficult to say, I want to do this. Well, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to change? Why can't we keep doing this that we've always done? Because I'm comfortable doing that. I'm not comfortable with where you want to take me. And that's the thing. Creating change is uncomfortable, not just for the person instigating that change, but for everyone else around them. Because the people around them start to worry that that person's going to change, and therefore they are either going to have to change themselves to keep up, or they're going to get left behind. So I want to ask you, how do you soar like an eagle when you're surrounded by turkeys? What are you going to do today to take that one tiny step out of the wings, closer to the spotlight, to create change, to start to create your blockbuster life that's going to enable you to be surrounded by more and more eagles? Perhaps you'll try a different coffee shop where the people you aspire to be like hang out. Maybe you'll read a different genre of book, watch a different type of film. Maybe you'll go and try a new activity or attend a new event where those people are. Who knows? I'd love to know in the comments below what you've done today to soar like an eagle when you're surrounded by turkeys.